Today we start our adventure in the new city, new country of Tallinn, Estonia. It's my first time here in Estonia. How about you, Peter?
Yeah, first time as well. Let's see if Tallinn has any talent.
Oh look, there's an Irish flag right in front of us. Probably a bar. Which would mean it's also probably the consulate.
Yes, it is actually. It's our national embassy in here in Tallinn. Our ambassador is resident there. He pulls pints.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And look, it's next to McDonald's. A good, wholesome, Christian, God-fearing American company. Look at this beautiful Soviet flower shop.
Yeah, literally.
We're by one of the city's old gates, it looks like.
By the gates, you can see to the right here, it's like, I'd say there's about 15, maybe 10 individual sellers selling flowers, tulips, roses.
It's true.
Yeah.
They are. They are, in fact, selling flowers. And you get a really beautiful view of the city. So here's where we start the tour. All right, Peter. Here at the Irish Embassy, give us a little information on Irish-Estonian relations.
Well, we set up Estonia's first ATM machine, as you can see here, where you can actually withdraw money to pay for your drink before you enter. So they don't let you into this embassy without money in your pockets, clearly, you know. So.
And is that guy in the mirror or in the window? Is he Irish?
He's our ambassador.
This is what your ambassador looks like?
Yes. In a traditional Celtic arrangement, this is our ambassador, Fergus O'Dowd.
Look at that beautiful Soviet building, Peter. What do you think of all these Soviet buildings?
I think you need to either shave your head to do that video, fully, like bald.
I'm not a skinhead, Peter.
But yeah. It's okay, those Soviet buildings. It wouldn't be my cup of tea too much. But the other buildings, the older style Estonian architecture is prettier, I think.
What about a Soviet mural?
Do we have one?
I don't know. We'll look for one.
Okay.
I think these Baltic states are pretty anti-Soviet history.
Yeah.
So they might have torn them all down.
Sure.
I don't know why they like to destroy their Soviet history. I get the oppression and genocide that the Soviets did upon them. But I do think you should keep your history in place, even if the people who did it weren't good.
True.
Look at this. And look, Peter, they have a depiction of a Russian lady from when they used to be here.
Hello.
A beautiful Russian lady.
Natalia.
Natalia.
How are you, Natalia?
Anna.
Anna. Do you want to go back there and hang for 32 days to allow the meat to tenderize?
Look, Kobe beef. We ate that in Japan.
Oh yeah? Was it anything up to its
It was too
reputation?
expensive. It wasn't that great. It was, I mean, it's obviously it's good,
Yeah,
but it wasn't worth it, I don't think.
sure. I think it's all that it's more about marketing really, isn't it, with those things?
Yeah. Look at this. There's a nightclub and a souvenir shop, Peter. Everything you've ever wanted. Let's go in the souvenir shop and buy souvenirs, Peter.
Okay.
Peter's really into all these women's clothes.
Well-
He keeps looking at it and saying, "Oh, I'd love to have this."
Well, it is peculiar. Like, look, it's quite. They're big into their fur trade here, I think.
Having a look around Estonia so far and seeing the women here, I could get really into their fur trade too.
Can't square that.
So I was just explaining to Peter how a lot of these places have weights like this, counterweights, to bring stores up there, because this used to be a very, very heavily merchanted city. There was a lot of merchants here because it is a port city. So they would keep their supplies in there so that people wouldn't see them, people wouldn't lust after them, want to steal them. Peter didn't know any of that.
Well,
yesterday.
there's two more. You can see them again. But yeah, storage.
Yeah,
in the
so
roof.
I've been teaching Peter a lot about this medieval architecture, this Hanseatic medieval architecture, because it's not something that he's used to in Ireland. All right, we're in the heart of Old Town. Tallinn here. This is it. They have a giant Indian flag for an Indian restaurant, an Irish pub.
Mad Murphy's.
Yeah, so they're letting the foreigners in.
Yeah, but you also have a choice of nice Estonian themed restaurants. Some of them are in the cellars. That's really nice. Nice options here.
Definitely. Estonia, I think, is like a quarter Russian or something like that. So everywhere you go, you see everything is pretty much translated into Russian, which is interesting. So if you're a Russian speaker from, I don't know, Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Russia, whatever, and you want to visit a country, this one would be very easy access for you. Well, we've stumbled upon something interesting. We are at the Russian embassy or consulate or whatever. Buchezia maze up. So obviously Russia is being a bad boy right now. And all this is protests against them. And interestingly enough, there's their flag. There's actually the Estonian History Museum, which obviously Estonia has a lot of historical grievances with the Soviets. So it's interesting. I'm sure there's very anti-Russian stuff probably in there, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm surprised. I wonder if the staff of the embassy has left. I would hope so, but I don't know.
Oh, look at that nice building here. It's a really good Art Deco.
Putin is a killer, Peter. So much like I saw in my Vienna video, here they have a police car to stop people from getting a little too rowdy here at the Russian embassy. Because I'm sure there's quite a few people, quite a few Ukrainians here in town that are not too happy with what Russia's doing right now. And probably not so much from the Estonians either, because they do have sort of the same threat from Russia. But even a higher percentage of them are Russian here in Estonia, so maybe even a bigger threat.
It looks like they put plexiglass in front of their original windows as well, either plastic, I imagine, so that if you do throw something at this embassy, it's likely not going to enter the window.
Yeah. Let's go to the History Museum.
Yes.
So the building that we're in is a former Hanseatic Trade Guild hall, and they've turned it into a museum. And this part is going to be all about the musical history of Estonia, the country that got its independence through music and song. So let's go have a bit of a look. I'm probably not going to show you guys too much in here because I'll get copyright strikes. But hey, Estonia, music is an important thing here. That's the key takeaway from this section of the museum, I assure you. What do you think of Estonian music, Peter, as a European?
Well, I think that whole independence movement, they had a really great video that just showed at the start of the museum, just fantastic. It was very quirky. It wasn't like your normal museum intro video. It had like lots of different media. Like they had like clay figures, stop animation and stuff like that. It looked great. It was fun.
Now we're down here. We're gonna get into some of the city's history. I saw a nice arms collection back that way. We'll get to that when we get there. This alcohol, Peter. That's how you can tell you're in Eastern Europe. And that's how you can tell Peter is Irish.
It's not strong enough, Ling. I need more.
That's right. Once again, Peter, we find ourselves in a Baltic basement here in Estonia this time. How does this one compare to the other basement cellars that you've been in?
Well,
in the Baltic specifically.
I do like this Baltic basement. Simply, this caught my eye. This is a lovely intricate lock system on this chest here. So look at this lovely, actually you should show the guys this is really cool. This would be your, I guess your key system through here, but it's very intricate. It's really nice.
Talk about it, Peter.
An old heating system underneath the Great Hall.
Fire was lit here and the hot air rose and warmed all the guests inside the Great Hall while they're having their big taverna meals and dinings.
That's the same thing that happened to Peter. All the hot air went up here. Yeah, this is the armory section that I was talking about a second ago. And wow, this is really cool. It's pretty mixed up. Like the order that things are in isn't necessarily historical order or anything, but you know, they have everything to its section like this. Walther P38, Luger. You have different types of revolvers that, you know, the kind of stuff you would have seen in the Wild West of America even. You have your swords that would have come from different German, Swedish, Danish, Russian groups. You have these medieval giant two-handed swords that you would have seen probably wielded by Germans, because that was something that they were really known for, something they did a lot. You've got medieval uniforms here. You've got a Swedish uniform from when they owned the place. You have a German uniform over there from World War I, it looks like. Yeah, 1915, yeah. Okay. You have bayonets. Really incredible place. You have Soviet assault rifles. You have SKSs. Right here next to PPSHs, German Mausers, next to flintlock pistols. So it's a really, really awesome armory. I like this a lot. This is, I think, one of the best armory displays I've ever seen in any museum. It's one that I really find extremely interesting, especially stuff like this. Like, where do you see an old tree roughly carved into a matchlock musket, and you see this next to, you know, a crossbow next to a Soviet AK-74 and 47 over there. It's really cool. Yeah. And then there's long swords over there, like medieval long swords. It's all from this area because Estonia does have a very martial tradition, not in necessarily its local people, but the people who conquer it are definitely militaristic people, starting from the Livonian Order, a holy order, much like the Teutonics that we learned about in other videos that were up here.
Yeah, really beautiful. The very thoughtful display. Again, just they use this, using the kind of basement shape. It just looks beautiful. It actually really does look pretty. Even if you don't like weapons, you're going to appreciate the cabinets. They're pretty.
Yeah. When you come into the bathroom, they start playing ambient noises, like you're out in the woods and there's a guy who keeps talking there. I don't know what he's saying, but there you go. It's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And it's handy capable. The last thing an Irishman will see is a Nord coming. A beautiful Estonian church. We've got a elevated part of the town up there and behind a wall, so probably the most fortified part of the city, I'd guess. I don't know for sure up there, but Peter's got something in mind. I think it might be anticlimactic, but we'll see.
Mission stick grenades right there.
Here's Peter.
A Fidel Castro alarm clock, just what I want.
There's a bust of Lenin for you, Peter.
I know you probably don't like them.
Even here in Estonia, they have Cantina Texas. Oh, I thought it would flip for me there. But they have more American culture here. Everywhere you go, America is there. This is the big church of Tallinn. Very nice. Very big. Very much more simple design, I'd say, than some of the other Baltic churches we've seen. Maybe a bit newer. Probably been restored several times. I don't know. Yeah. Estonia, much like every Baltic country, has a very dark history with the Soviet Union. They were not fans of their time inside of the Soviet Union generally. Some people were, obviously. You know, there's always a few people who are in favor of weird extremes. But here in Estonia, they've been slowly taking down their Soviet monuments that used to be all over the city, and they put them in a giant park. So we're here in the Soviet Memorial Park. That guy looks like Peter's blocking him. But there's a soldier, probably from World War II, a memorial to the soldiers that fought. And here we have linen, mini linens. We have some Stalin right there. I think that's even a Trotsky next to Stalin. Funny place to put that guy because he was killed by Stalin. I'm gonna just double check, make sure that is Trotsky, because Stalin literally had Trotsky killed. I could be wrong. Okay, I was wrong. It's Mikhail Kalinin Osmas. So, not Trotsky. Let's see, what did he do? Wasn't he former head of the state of the Soviet Union? Was announced in January 1947. He was in charge of the Soviet Union for a very short time. There we go. There's our Stalin, the big guy, the famous one, the most genocidal of the Soviets. More and more and more. Here they are. That one over there, they took the head off. I'm sure that happened a while ago. Somebody did that in a protest, or some people did that in a protest. Here you see like the original Soviet like revolutionaries who fought during the actual revolution. And you see this kind of stuff. And it's really cool. It's really nice to see these kind of statues. You don't see them very much anymore because most of the places that have democracy now have taken down their Soviet statues. The area that the statues are in also has other museums around. There is a monument to the victims of the Soviet Union too. At one point, a quarter of the people were taken from the country because of World War II, from the Germans, the Russians, as refugees, as gulag deportees, other things like that. So it's very, very sad history of what happened here in Estonia, but you know, they are presenting it. At least they have their Soviet stuff out where you can see it. It can be confronted. They have other museums here, like the palace, but we're not going to get into all that today. And I hope you guys enjoyed my short look around Tallinn. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series around the Baltic.